My name is Neil, and I'm a student of a computer engineering technology in Sheridan. I live in Canada, and this is the app that I have built after the end of my first sem. So, uh, I would like to share the story why I have come up with the idea of building this app. So, after the end of the first sem, I am interested in building solving the maths problem. So then I was like, I had a in the JavaScript, React, and HTML, CSS. So I just want to learn more about it by doing the project. So I have come up with the idea, let's build something related to maths by simple application, web application, so that get the better idea about how the UI works and how all the things works. And in the my first sem, I have also learned the Python. So I just want to get the hands-on experience with the Python. So I just come up with the idea. So this app is basically a React-based application, the front end, and the back end is built in the Python, and I have integrated both of them. So first of all, I would like to get go through the initial version of this math app. So yeah, this was the initial version that I have come up with, and you can see the basic calculator. There was a navigation bar for the three, like the basic solver, equation solver, and the matrix solver. And you can see our UI is not that good. So let's just walk you through how it was look like. And this was the matrix solver, equation solver, and this is a drop down for the equation solver. And then later on, I try to improve the UI. So you can see over here, and at the in middle of a December or something, I have come up with this design and this UI, and this UI looks better than the previous one. So, and this is the current version of a math.nilbills.com, and I would like to go through the functionality of it, and this is the basic functionality of it. Yeah, you can do adding, subtracting, and all this thing. Exponent, in the exponent, it will like 3 to the power of 2, so it goes to the 9, right? And in the root, it just take a root of a first number. So this is the root of a 3. Let's try it with 4. So it doesn't include the number 2, and this is our equation solver, and it has 3 equation, quadratic solver, system of equation solver, and polynomial. So let's try each of them. Let's see if it is, yeah. As you can see, it also says that there is no real solution because we have the middle element as 2. Uh, yeah, no real solution, an infinite solution because we have taken the same x and y. Let's see. Let's take a different one. Yeah, as you can see, we got the solution, and same things with the 3 equation. You got the x1, x2, and x3. And this is the polynomial. Yeah, you can see the value. You will get the basically value of the x1, x3, and x2, x2, and x3, and you just have to enter the the constant a b and a b c d, and you'll get good to go with it. And this is our matrix solver. It has the 5 functionality: adding, subtracting, multiplying, determinant, and inverse. So for the as of now, I have limited it with to the 4 by 4 matrix only, and we can add the metric as many as we want, but it has to be the similar. So let's see if it is give us an error or not. Yeah, operand could not be the broadcast together with the space, because we have the two different types of matrix. Like the two matrix has a different rows and columns. It should be the similar. it should give the result. Yeah, and same for the subtractor. And in the multiplication we can do the two ways, m1 into m2 and m2 into m1. So the rule is the column of the first row first matrix it should be the similar with the row of the second matrix. So over here we have the first matrix as m1 and the second matrix as m2. So let's say if it is give us the result. Yeah, it does. So let's take an other way around. So it says that number of a column in the first matrix must be equal to the number of a rows in the second matrix. So that's the rule. If we do the other way around, it should work. Yeah. And for the determinant, we can find the determinant for the M1. Yeah, it's a 6 because you can see it's a 12 and minus 6 because it just multiplying and it multiplied was also include the minus, so that's why. And this is the inverse. Yeah, this is find the inverse of the particular matrix, and this is the graph plotter we can use for plotting the graph. And as you can see over here you can choose the functional, and let's say I want to make it cosec. So see if it is plot the graph for us or not. Yeah, it does. And let's see what about the sign. Yeah, you can zoom in and zoom out. So this is the overview of our math solver. And as you can see over here, it's also have the functionality of the theme toggler for the different things. And it also the mobile function. Yeah, as you can see over here, hamburger function, and it's working seamlessly. Yeah. So now we are going to look at to the code. First of all, we'll go through the front end, then we'll move to the back end. So let's go to our entry point. So since we are using a React, so we have the entry point as a single page application, which is our index.html. So this is our index.html in which we are rendering the div element which has the ID of a root. So let's see which file has the ID of a root and it's rendering the which app. So over here we have the index.js and we are getting the element which has the ID of a root, and then we are rendering over here into the root.render. So we are rendering into the strict mode and also providing uh, a wrap up with the theme provider so that we can manage the theme toggler dark and light mode. And this is our main app component in which our like main content of the app reside. And this is our importing of the React DOM and the React. And since we are using the tailwind CSS, so in index.css we have the three lines for the tailwind CSS that should be there. And yeah, and the report white web vitals is for the reporting to the developer. So like if the website is working fast or not. So that is for that. And let's move to the our app.js. So this is our main component. And since we are using app as our main component, so we are like importing all the other component like basic calculator, quadratic solver, system solver, and all the other component, and also importing the app.css, and also importing the tooltip which I'll show you. uh, this is our use state, and in which they are just managing the like take care of the state of the particular variable. And this is for the theme toggler. This is for whether the which component is active, basic solver equation, graph or metric. This is for the mobile navigation, like if the mobile navigation is open or not. And this is for keeping track of the equation solver. So I would like to mention that we are also keeping track of the equation solver over here only, not in the quadratic solver. So as you can see, we are keeping track of whether it is quadratic solver, system of equation solver, or polynomial. So we are keeping track of them over in our main app.js. So this is our use effect and theme toggle. And this is our variable equation types. And this is the rendering for that equation, and this is rendering for our main component. And this is just to get the page title, and we are displaying the page title over here. Whenever over here, like whenever we change the page, then it will again change it over here. So that is to just to get the page title to improve the UX. And this is also for improving the UX, and this SVG is just to for, like, let's say this for this navigation side navigation bar for the mobile, and we are mapping it over here item by ID. And this is our main component, and here we are using the home slash get page title and just over there. And this is our tooltip, so I'll like to show what's the tooltip is. Like, let's say if I hover over something basic calculator or the system of polynomial, so I'll show you just a minute. Over here you can see there is a perform of basic mathematical calculator, so this is for that. And this is our, yeah, so let's move to the component. This is our basic calculator. Since we are calling the API from the slash utils slash API, and we are managing the calling of the HTTP request to the backend into that API file only. So this is our, we are keeping track of the operation, variable A, B, and if it is drop down, and result and the error. So this is our five, six like the addition, subtraction, and multiplication. And over here we are calling the calculate, and we are passing the two value with the operation, so it just pass the that particular things to the backend, and it will give us the result, and it will store in the data, and then we are displaying the result over here. And this is our main component for the basic calculator. It's a simple thing. Yeah, so then we'll move to the quadratic equation solver. So same for this one also. We are handling the API call from the API.js, and the thing is, like, we are over here we are like the changing the constant value in a real time. Let's see quadratic solver. So it will change the A in a real time and B and C. Yeah, that is for that. I would like to just to close this thing.
For political reasons.
That's so
Sorry for
crazy.
that. And this is the polynomial solver. And yeah, we are keeping track of the four variable result and the error. And same for this one also. We are handling the submit, and we are passing the data to the solve polynomial in the API.js. So we'll go through that also. And yeah, this is our polynomial.js, and this is the system of equation solver. Yeah. And what next? Yeah. For the matrix solver, we have the three files. This is for taking the input for the matrix. This is for displaying the result for the matrix. And this is our main matrix solver. So first of all, I would like to go through the matrix input. This is bit complex, I guess. So if you would like to discuss more about it, just like comment down the below, and we'll get back to you. And this is our handling the input over here, and this is for displaying the matrix solver, and this is our main component. And over here we are keeping track of the four drop down. So I'll show you which are the four drop down: 1, 2, 3, and one is in the matrix solver. Yeah. And we are using the use ref just to, if it is drop down, for the drop down, or for the four drop down. And this is use effect dimension, since we are limiting it to the 4 by 4 matrix, and this is to alternate m1 into m2 and m2 into m1. This is handle dimension changes. This is handle operation. It is can multiply or not. It's just check the column like the dimensions dot columns equal to rows of the second. It's yeah, and this is for label, and this is if it is in multiply, then it will open up this thing. Yeah. Yeah. Now here we are taking the matrix input and we are checking if it is not a determinant and if it is not an inverse, then only we are going to like the show the user to the like the second matrix in second matrix. So let's say if I go to the determinant, it will just show me the matrix one. So if it is addition subtraction and multiplication, then I'll be able to see the two matrix. This is for taking the expression for from the user for the graph, and we are keeping track of the all this thing expression result error graph data loading and is drop down or not. And we are importing the graph dot display. This is just to displaying the graph to zoom in and zoom out functionality graph display. And over here we are keeping track of the example click handle submit, and this is just a simple UI for this thing. See if it is a drop down or not. And in the last we are calling the graph display just to display the result for that over here. So here we are using the chart.js and any uh like mainly we are importing the required element from the chart.js and also using the zoom plugin from the chart.js plugin dash zoom, and also using the chart.js dash 2 and for the line functionality from the React. And this is I would happy to discuss more about this, but let's now move on to the API.js, and this is our main API based URL. Since our front end is deployed in Netlify and backend is deployed in a render, so we are taking when we want to deploy our app into the Netlify, so we are taking that HTTP like HTTP URL from the render and we are setting as the environment variable into the netlify. Since if you want to run it locally, then we can use the backend url for the local server. And this is where we are creating the api call, and it will time out if it is more than 5 seconds, so we can change it if we want. And this is the interceptor for the request, and this is for interceptor for the response. And this is just to evaluate expression. This is for the graph, and this is integration and differentiation which will be included in the later version. And since I have first initially I have implemented the basic calculation only, so that is the reason why I the name of the basic calculator is the calculate only. And this is quadratic solver, equation solver, matrix system solver. Let's move to the backend. So this is the entry point for our backend. And since we are using the fast API and HTTP exception to get the requests, and this is our middleware. And we can the best practice is allow the origin from the for the front end only, not like allow the origin for the any other. So this is not the best practice. We can modify it. And this is just login numpy and the logging. Yes, yeah. It's easier for the debug. And this is if it is an home, then we can just display the welcome to the math app. And for evaluating the expression, we are handling over here math operation, all the other functions. Calculate, solve the cubic, solve quadratic, solve system, polynomial, matrix. For the matrix, there are other operations, so we are handling that also over here. Okay, so let's move. This is Cardano method for the cubic equation. So if you want to discuss more about it, I would be happy to do that. Yeah, and this is math operation. Then we are over here. We have all the logics for the functions that I showed you in the app.py. Yeah, you can see over here. And this is the logic for the matrix. Simply we are using the numpy, and this is our requirement.txt. So yeah, that this is the demo. See you.